Chapter 31. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The purpose of Wang Xuan's trip is to recruit Li Dazhuang for his own use. In the original plot of Big Jianghu, he was also seriously injured by Lin An, and was later rescued by Lin An with Tianshan Snow Lotus. From then on, Li Dazhuang worked hard for Lin An and became one of his strongest subordinates. Known as Akla, Li Dazhuang's physical talent is extremely high. In the original plot, relying only on the ordinary Grandmaster-level body protection technique Akla Gong, the Grandmaster realm can withstand 31 shots from Yanghu, who is half a step into the heavenly realm, and finally die of exhaustion. It can be said to be the strongest defense below the heavenly realm. Lin An also relied on him to escape death many times later. With such a talent, Wang Xuan naturally wants to take him in. Li Dazhuang. Fang Jing exclaimed. Hearing the tone, Wang Xuan thought there was something wrong. What? Isn't this Yan Zuofang? Or is there no such person? Li Dazhuang originally lived in Ankingfang in the north, and was the head of the security guard of a wealthy family. He was beaten and seriously injured, and then he was driven out of the house and came to his original residence, Yan Zuofang. This was all found out by Wang Xuan, so there shouldn't be any problems. Yes. Of course. But He looked confused. Li Dazhuang was severely injured in the martial arts test and is unlikely to survive. Don't worry, this prince is here for this matter. He was delighted and complimented. Really? This child is so lucky to know you, Your Highness. Without further ado, please lead the way, Mr. Fangjing. He apologized quickly and walked to the front to lead the way. After a while, they arrived in front of a courtyard. The gate of the courtyard was open, and the sound of crying could be heard faintly from inside. He went up and knocked on the door and shouted, "Tree roots! Come out quickly, a distinguished guest has arrived." There was no response. He scratched his head awkwardly. "Your Highness, please don't blame me. I will go in and let them come out to greet me." Wang Xuan waved his hand. "No need, this prince does not have so many rules. The master will not blame me if I go in by myself." He waved his hand. "Of course not, it is their honor to have your Highness come. I'll lead the way." The three of them walked through the yard and into the room, and immediately saw Li Dazhuang lying on the bed. An old woman was sobbing on a stool at the head of the bed, and an old man was sitting at the foot of the bed with an expressionless face. On the way here, Fang Jing introduced that the old woman should be Li Dazhuang's mother, Aunt Kaihua. And the old man was the old man who made a scene at the martial arts test and questioned Lin An. He was Li Dazhuang's father, Li Shuzhen. At this moment, he looked much older than a few hours ago, and half of his hair was white. His face was even more expressionless. Wang Xuan knew this feeling, which was called despair. They are all poor people. He stepped forward and pushed Li Shuzhen. "Shuzhen. His Royal Highness the Prince of Zhenbei Palace is here to see you. Hurry up and pay your respects." Still no response. He turned to Wang Xuan and smiled awkwardly. Wang Xuan did not blame him. First, he was a modern man, not so particular about etiquette. Second, he sympathized with her. If it was him, he would not care so much about the family disaster. Then he turned to Kaihua Sa and said, "Cauliflower. Why don't you come over and pay your respects to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince?" Upon hearing this, Sister Cauliflower turned around and glared at He. "You bastard, you actually dared to come to my house. Haven't you caused enough suffering to my family? I will tear you apart with my bare hands." After saying that, he rushed towards He like a madman. He was startled and quickly hid behind Wang Xuan, explaining, "Sister, you can't blame me for this. I just mentioned it at the beginning, and it was you who let Dazhuang go in the end. If you hadn't mentioned it, why would I have said it? It's all your fault." Caihua's wife refused to give up, and the two began to chase each other. "Your Highness, help me." He's face was scratched with bloody marks, and he hid behind Wang Xuan. Seeing this, Kaihua stopped. Wang Xuan was dressed in brocade clothes, and he looked like someone who was not easy to mess with. She didn't dare to offend him. "You old bastard, get out here." "I won't go out, what can you do to me?" The two of them were in a stalemate, surrounding Wang Xuan in the middle. Uncle Fu frowned and was about to teach them a lesson. but Wang Xuan stopped him. Wang Xuan said helplessly. Sister Kaihua, I can save your son. As soon as the words fell, Li Shugen's expression moved. Sister Kaihua was overjoyed, and forgot the taboo for a moment. She stepped forward and grabbed Wang Xuan's sleeve to confirm, really? Don't lie to me. Wang Xuan nodded, no, but can you let go of my hand first? Sister Kaihua came to her senses and knelt down in fear. I'm sorry, sir, I deserve to die for offending you, but it's not my son's fault. Please save my son. After that, she kept kowtowing, fearing that Wang Xuan would not save his son because of her offense. Before Wang Xuan could speak, Li Shugen on the other side also knelt down and kowtowed to him. Please save my son, I will work like a slave for you in my next life. Wang Xuan sighed. They were all pitiful people. He helped them up and said, don't worry, I respect brotherly, so I will never stand by and watch him die. Uncle Fu, give brotherly the petals of the snow lotus. Uncle Fu hesitated and took out the jade box from his arms. He didn't understand why Wang Xuan wasted such a precious holy medicine to treat Li Dezhuang, who was not related to him and was not a powerful master. However, he decided to respect Wang Xuan's opinion. After all, Wang Xuan won the Tianshan snow lotus himself. Uncle Fu tore off a piece of snow lotus and fed it to Li Dezhuang, then used his internal force to dissolve the medicinal power. Only an incense stick of time passed, and Li Dezhuang woke up slowly. My head hurts. Where is this? Am I dead? Is this the underworld? What a handsome man, could he be the king of hell? Isn't it said that the king of hell is a fierce and evil man? How come he doesn't look like one at all? Hey! Dad! Mom! Why are you here? Are you dead too? Hearing this, Wang Xuan burst out laughing. Uncle Fu also smiled. This Li Dezhuang is really silly. Dead child. Your mother is fine. Look carefully, you are not dead, this is our home. Sister Kaihua burst into tears and hit Li Dezhuang. Li Shugen's eyes were also red and tearful. Li Dezhuang burst into tears upon seeing this. Dad. Mom. The three of them hugged each other and cried bitterly. Fang Jingzhanghe's eyes were wet when he saw this scene. Wang Xuan just smiled slightly. As for Uncle Fu, he just glanced at Wang Xuan and stood aside in silence. After a long time, the three finally calmed down. At this time Zhanghe said, Dezhuang, why don't you come over and thank His Royal Highness the Crown Prince? Without him you would have died long ago. Yes. Son, go over and thank the benefactor. Sister Kaihua also said. Li Dezhuang knew that his life was saved by this handsome nobleman in front of him, and he knelt down immediately. Thank you, benefactor. From now on, my life, Li Dezhuang, belongs to you, and I will be at your disposal in the future. Li Shugen and Kaihua Sa also knelt on the ground and kowtowed to thank him. Everyone, get up. Although Wang Xuan's goal was to take Li Dezhuang under his control, everything in front of him still made him feel deeply moved. He patted Li Dezhuang's strong shoulders and said, from now on, you will be a member of the Xianlong Guard of my Zhenbei Palace, but you have to start from a small flag. The Xianlong Guard is divided into small flags, general flags, centurions, deputy centurions, and southeast, northwest, and north-south pacification envoys. The minimum cultivation requirement for a small flag is the peak of the acquired realm, and the pacification envoy is a master. Originally, with your martial arts skills, you could have become a centurion, but my Xianlong Guard is affiliated with the Zhenbei army, and rewards and punishments are based on military merit. You have not done anything yet. If I rashly promote you to be a centurion, others will think I am biased, and you will inevitably be hated and opposed by your colleagues, and it will be difficult to convince them. If you don't want to, you can tell me clearly and you can leave. I won't ask for anything in return, and I won't make things difficult for you. Li Dezhuang is not very cunning, so Wang Xuan decided to speak out to avoid the separation between the monarch and his subjects in the future. After all, he wanted to train Li Dezhuang as a confidant. My benefactor, I have no objection. You can even let me start as a soldier. Li Dezhuang said with a grin, he is not very cunning, but he is not stupid. Following the Prince of Zhenbei will surely bring good things, and only a fool would want to leave. Wang Xuan nodded. don't call me your benefactor in the future, just call me your highness. Good. Your highness, hee. Li Dazhuang grinned and looked at Wang Xuan. Ding. Accept Li Dazhuang, destroy the chance of the lucky son Lin An, and gain 10,000 points of luck. Cool. At the same time, the Chu family, puff. Lin An spit out a large mouthful of blood, staining a large area of the bed red. His breath also became weak. What happened? This feeling of weakness came again, and it was even stronger than the last time. I'm about to die. Lin An felt fear in his heart. After accepting Li Dazhuang, Wang Xuan and his party left Yanzuofang and were stopped on the road. The person was very familiar. It was the buck-toothed Su who set up the gambling table at the entrance of the training ground. Now he was no longer as ecstatic as before, but looked as if he had lost his parents. Your Highness, my second young master invites you. We are waiting for you in Tianxiang Tower. Wang Xuan's mouth curled up. Yes, he took the bait. Chapter 32. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At 3:30 in the evening, night falls. The Zhujiang Lake is still brightly lit. There are many wine shops and brothels here, and merchants and officials like to come here for fun. The tallest and brightest building is Tianxiang Tower. Tianxiang Tower has 3 unique features. The first is the scenery. Tianxiang Tower has 7 floors and is about 10 feet high. It is the tallest of all the buildings in Zhujiang Lake. From the top of the building, you can see the prosperous scenes of Zhujiang Lake and even Luodu. The second is the taste. The chef in charge of the cooking in this building is the junior brother of the imperial chef of the current dynasty, and his cooking skills are superb. In addition, the ingredients are also top-notch, and everyone who has tasted them is eager to come. The third is the beauty. The women in the building are all thin horses in the Jianghu area, with faces like lotus flowers emerging from the water and waists like weak willows swaying in the wind. And not only are they beautiful, but they are also very talented, and are proficient in piano, chess, calligraphy and painting. Lu Shishir, who is known as the most beautiful woman in Jianghu, is said to be as beautiful as a fairy, and everyone who sees her will fall in love with her. However, these are all courtesans, and you can't become their guest by paying money. In order to be welcomed by them, you must use all your tricks. In this way, countless men's competitive spirit has been aroused, making it more popular. Under the 3 wonders, countless dignitaries gathered here, enjoying sensual pleasures and singing every night. Tianxianglu gradually gained the reputation of the first building in Luodu, although Wang Xuan is also one of the dignitaries. This is really his first time here. When Tianxianglu opened, he was invited, but at that time he was busy licking Chu Siyan, so he ignored it. Thinking about it now, I regret it a little, and I want to slap myself. Bucktooth Su greeted Wang Xuan to the top floor. A figure leaned against the railing and looked out, and turned back after hearing the sound of the door opening. When he saw Wang Xuan, he laughed immediately. Long time no see. Brother Xuan. Wang Xuan showed a barely perceptible smile on his face. Although he already knew who he was, he still frowned and pretended to be puzzled. Who are you? You don't remember me? It's me. Third brother. The man pretended to be angry. Wang Xuan pretended to be enlightened. You are third brother. Your Highness, the King of Wu. The man with a mustache leaning against the railing and pretending to be cool was none other than the third son of the late emperor, the King of Wu, Ziyue, who was granted the title of King of Jianghu when he came of age. Calling him Your Highness the King of Wu is too strange. Brother Xuan, just call me third brother. Come, sit down and drink and eat. Ziyue came over and took Wang Xuan's arm and sat down, pretending to be very familiar with him. In fact, the two of them had not met many times, and when they were young in the palace, the King of Wu often bullied him with other princes, saying that he was a bastard without a mother. The relationship was not good, and it could even be said to be somewhat bad. Such hypocritical behavior was really funny in Wang Xuan's eyes. These are the dishes I specially asked the kitchen to make. They are all your favorites. And this wine, it's 20-year-old girl's red wine, you can't get it outside. Ziyue was more attentive. Wang Xuan accepted everything, eating and drinking. It must be said that the dishes made by the imperial chefs were good, comparable to some of the top restaurants in his previous life. Girl's red wine was also good, refreshing and sweet. It was indeed a rare good wine. during the meal, Yue kept complaining, saying that his palace's crops were poor, and the caravans that went out to sea suffered heavy losses due to a hurricane, and almost the whole palace had to sleep on the streets. Wang Xuan kept responding, expressing sympathy and understanding in his words, and from time to time advised him to think more positively. After 3 rounds of wine, seeing that Wang Xuan was still unable to get to the point, Yue finally lost his temper. "Brother Xian, you have to help me, your third brother, this time." "Third brother, you are joking. How can I help? Didn't you buy a bet of 200,000 taels outside the training ground before?" "Oh. I remember now, that's what happened. I made this bet for fun, but I didn't expect my kid to be ignorant and get the odds wrong. Can you please give me this money for my third brother's sake?" "I understand. Third brother has no money now, right?" Wang Xuan pretended to be enlightened. Right. Yue's eyes lit up. "Well, this money, third brother can give it to me a few days later, I am not in a hurry." Yue's smile froze. He had said it so clearly. Was Wang Xuan really stupid or just pretending to be stupid? He decided not to waste any more time. "I'll be frank. Here are 200,000 taels of silver notes. I'll give you another 200,000 taels of silver notes. We're even." Yue slapped the 400,000 taels of silver notes on the table. He was very confident that his conditions were already very generous. Based on his understanding of this silly brother, he should accept it. Wang Xuan's smile disappeared and his face became calm. "Your Highness, King Wu, are you going to default on your debt?" The atmosphere suddenly cooled down when the address changed from third brother to King Wu. Yue didn't care and said with a relaxed smile. "How could that be? Your 200,000 taels of silver are here, and I will give you an extra 200,000 taels. It doubled in less than a day. You should be satisfied with such good conditions." He asked Wang Xuan to come over to talk in a nice way, because he didn't want to make things difficult for him. After all, they would meet again in the future. If it was someone else, he would have defaulted on the debt long ago, and he wouldn't even want to pay back the principal. If Wang Xuan didn't know what was good for him, at most he would report it to the emperor, which would make him embarrassed and get him scolded. What could he do? Seeing Yue's unscrupulous look, Wang Xuan laughed. "Ha ha ha." Yue was startled by the laughter and became a little annoyed. "What are you laughing at?" Wang Xuan restrained his smile and said calmly. "Sorry, I just think what His Royal Highness the King of Wu said is too funny." Yue was about to explode, but Wang Xuan's next words made him pale with fear in an instant. "It is said that, Your Highness opened a bank, right? Where did you get the news?" Yue's eyes flashed with panic. This matter was very secretive, and he had not told anyone, especially since it involved some secrets. If the emperor knew about it, he would lose his head. How could Wang Xuan know? "Is there a traitor?" "Your Highness, it seems that the rumors are true." Wang Xuan smiled. Yue became more silent, his expression uncertain. After a while, he slowly said, "I really don't have 4 million taels now. Give me 2 years, I won't default on the debt." This time he was telling the truth. The bank was still in its infancy and had to spend money everywhere. It had 4 million taels, but taking it out would definitely hurt its bones and even bankrupt it. Wang Xuan shook his head. Yue's expression was stern. "What do you want? Don't go too far. When the time comes, it will be a fight to the death and no one will benefit." He thought Wang Xuan was greedy and wanted more. After finding a handle, Wang Xuan said calmly, "4 million taels are not wanted by this prince, just consider it as my share." Yue was stunned. "Do you know what my bank does?" Wang Xuan certainly knew that this bank was Yue's reliance on the throne, and it would become the world's #1 bank in the future. The money it accumulated was more than the national treasury, and it controlled half of Daqian's economy and various important intelligence. It was with his help that Lin An's Qfenglu became the world's #1 killer organization, which was feared by everyone. If he controlled the world's banks, he would definitely be able to plunder a lot of Lin An's luck. Of course he couldn't miss it. "Of course I know, money houses are all about making money. Wang Xuan pretended to be careless. Is the Zhenbei Palace still short of money? Who would complain about having too much money? Wang Xuan said with a smile. It seems that Wang Xuan really doesn't know the details of Tianxia Money House. It is estimated that the news about Tianxia Money House was also learned by accident. Since Wang Xuan wants to get involved, then let him do it. In this way, the Zhenbei Palace may also be able to be used by himself. Ha ha ha. Thinking of this, Ing Ziyue felt more and more happy. After weighing the pros and cons, he smiled and said, in this case, I am willing to give up 10% of the business shares of Tianxia Money House. How about it? Wang Xuan shook his head. 70%. Ing Ziyue's face changed. Impossible. If 70% is really given, does Tianxia Money House have to be named Wang? At most 20%. 70%. 30%. 70%. 40%. This is my bottom line. Ing Ziyue's eyes were red, as if he was choosing someone to bite. Wang Xuan smiled slightly and held his hand. Make a deal. Chapter 33. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ing Ziyue's face froze. Just now Wang Xuan had been asking for 70%, and he thought he had met a fool. He decided to go all out if 40% still didn't work, but he didn't expect that he would agree all of a sudden. He now realized that Wang Xuan was just pretending. Ing Ziyue smiled bitterly and shook his head. If it were normal times, he would definitely not fall for it so easily. It was just because he was panicked when the World Bank was exposed. In addition, Wang Xuan's foolish image was too confusing, and he didn't realize it for a while. Third brother, you promised me, you won't go back on your word, right? Wang Xuan said with a smile. 40%, 40%, that's it. Ing Ziyue knew that if he didn't want to, he could still talk to Wang Xuan and get back 10% or 20%, but he didn't think it was necessary. The people in the bank were all his own people. Even if he took more, it didn't matter. He still had the final say, but Wang Xuan was also very happy, because after taking over the bank, he heard a familiar mechanical voice. Ding. Destroy the great opportunity of the son of luck, Lin An, and gain 20,000 points of luck. This time it's a big one, a full 20,000 points. It's time for a high-level lottery. Wang Xuan and Ing Ziyue smiled at each other. The host and the guest were in harmony, each with their own ulterior motives. Cheers to our collaboration. Cheers. Drink to your heart's content. Don't go home until you are drunk. At the same time, at the Chu family, puff. Lin An suddenly vomited blood again. The newly changed bedding was stained red again. This time, he fainted before he even had time to think. Chu Siyan, who was standing by, looked anxious. Imperial physician, how is Lin Lang? This imperial physician was sent by Muron Wanqing. After taking the pulse, he frowned and thought deeply, and finally shook his head and sighed. Mr. Lin's condition should be stable, but for some reason, his breath is getting weaker and weaker. If he continues like this, he won't survive for more than a few days. Chu Siyan was shocked. How is this possible? Doctor, you must cure him. Otherwise you are a quack. The doctor looked grim. Forgive me for my lack of talent and knowledge. Miss Chu, please seek help from someone else. After that, he picked up the medicine box and left. No. You can't leave. You can only leave after you cure Lin Lang. Chu Siyan wanted to pull the doctor away, but Chu Yuanzhan grabbed her. Yenner, stop making trouble. Chu Siyan cried, Dad. If Lin Lang dies, what will my daughter do? Chu Yuanzhan was also upset. After breaking off the engagement with the Zhenbei Palace, he had been bullied by others and almost had to sell his house. Fortunately, Lin An's sister turned out to be the Prime Minister Muron Wanqing, who saved them. At that time, he was very glad that his daughter broke off the engagement with the Zhenbei Palace and chose Lin An, so that she could hold the thigh of the Prime Minister. Moreover, Lin An is very talented. He actually cultivated from the peak of the acquired to the second flower innate in just 1 month. It is estimated that the third flower innate can be easily achieved. In time, he may become a top general, or even a first-rank general, and it will be no problem to control hundreds of thousands of troops. By then, the Chu family will definitely become a first-class family. Even a top-notch aristocratic family. He, Chu Yuanzhan, will definitely be the one who creates the glory of the Chu family. Unfortunately, man proposes, God disposes. This beautiful dream only lasted for a month before it was crushed by Wang Xuan, whom they looked down upon. The champion of the martial arts test was chopped with a knife, and the prime minister of the court was slapped in the hand. The Chu family, which had begun to recover, wilted again in an instant. Chu Yuanzhan felt a little regretful. He should not have offended Wang Xuan to death. Even if the emperor wanted to take action against the Zhenbei Palace, it would take time. Before that, the Chu family might be killed first. What should he do? Chu Yuanzhan looked at his daughter who was crying bitterly, and an idea came to his mind. Yener, why don't you go and apologize to Prince Wang Xuan? I think the prince has liked you for so many years, his feelings will definitely not fade away. If you change your mind, he will definitely forgive our Chu family. Chu Siyan widened her beautiful eyes, looking surprised. Daddy, you, how could you do this? Lin Lang is still lying in bed, his life or death unknown. You actually want me to go back to find that bastard Wang Xuan? Wang Xuan, is the trash that Chu Siyan doesn't want. Her pride won't allow her to go back to find a trash, Chu Yuanzhan advised kindly. Didn't you hear what the doctor said? Lin An might die. By then, Prime Minister Qing will definitely not care about our Chu family. Yener, are you going to watch our Chu family fall into ruin? Maybe we will have to move back to the shabby house we had before, are you willing? Chu Siyan thought of the hard days in the past, her face turned pale, and then she shook her head desperately. She didn't want to go back to those days. Daddy, is there no other way? Chu Siyan was a little entangled. Chu Yuanzhan smiled bitterly. At this point, who would risk offending the Zhenbei Palace to associate with my Chu family? All right. Let Yener think about it. Chu Siyan still had to prepare herself mentally. When the time comes, as long as she goes to admit her mistake, Wang Xuan will surely forgive her, then Wang Xuan will return to the way they were before and let her have whatever she wants. But doing so would be a bit unfair to Lin An. So she walked to the bed and murmured, Lin Lang, if Yener goes to find Wang Xuan, will you agree? Don't get me wrong, Yener's heart will always belong to you. That she didn't know if Lin An could hear her, but at least she felt much better. Yener, let's go. Let Lin An have a good rest. Chu Yuanzhan said. Okay, Daddy. Chu Siyan turned around and left the room with Chu Yuanzhan, but what they didn't see was that at the moment of turning around, Lin An clenched his fists. In Tianxiang Tower, after 3 rounds of drinking, Wang Xuan and Yingzi became more and more drunk. Come. Brother Xuan. One more to go. Yingzi narrowed his eyes and raised his glass. Wang Xuan's cheeks were slightly red, half leaning on the table. Third brother, it's no good, I have to go back, it's curfew. Yingzi smiled and said, what are you afraid of, brother? You can rest assured to stay in Tianxiang Tower today, I will cover all the expenses. And don't you want to try the beauties in Tianxiang Tower? Beauty? Wang Xuan's eyes lit up, Yingzi clapped his hands, and a woman pushed open the door. Wang Xuan's eyes widened and he couldn't help swallowing, his eyes gradually blurred, and his heart was burning. Her eyes were as bright as the moon, charming and smart, making people unconsciously attracted to her. The lines of her double eyelids were also beautiful beyond words. Her smile was like a peony, white and cold with a hint of heat, pleasing to the eyes and intoxicating. She was born with a charming body. Suddenly, the pure yang wuji gong started automatically, and Wang Xuan woke up. It was a close call. He knew who the woman in front of him was, the head of Tianxiang Tower, the most beautiful woman in Jianghu. I am Lu Shishir, your servant, and I pay my respects to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. The woman walked up to Wang Xuan and bowed. Her voice was soft and gentle. Which man could resist this? But Wang Xuan was different. He withstood it, of course. He relied on the pure yang wuji gong, a beginner's skill. After being seduced once, Wang Xuan was very alert. He knew that the woman in front of him was not only the most beautiful woman in Jianghu. In the original plot, she was also Shui Lu, one of the 4 heavenly killers of pine, cypress, plum and willow in Qiufeng Tower. In the future, she will be a master of the grandmaster level, and she is best at seduction. It is easy to fall into her trap if you are not careful. Wang Xuan tried it just now. He said it was very enjoyable, and almost broke his concentration. Okay, you want this, huh? Humph. Fairy, today I need you to help me practice. I have to say that the screenwriter treats the protagonist very well, and the female characters he chooses are all very good. Yes, this Lu Shishi is also one of the female supporting roles who has an ambiguous relationship with Lin An in the later period. Wang Xuan doesn't know if he will have the chance to be welcomed by her. At present, it seems that there must be some unspeakable secrets in her coming. It's a pity that he is powerless now, otherwise he will definitely give her a big stick and make her beg for mercy. Of course, although he can't use real swords and guns, he can still taste her beauty. Is this the most beautiful woman in Jianghu? She is indeed worthy of her reputation. That Wang Xuan pretended to be completely mesmerized. Seeing this, Lu Shishi's eyes flashed with disdain. She thought that the Prince of Zhenbei was some powerful character, although Wang Xuan looked much more handsome than other men, but in fact, he was no different from other men who were attracted by her beauty. Wasn't he charmed by her all at once? I don't know what the master was thinking. He actually called me the most beautiful woman in Jianghu. Isn't it a pure waste of time to test a second-generation ancestor? Although she was dissatisfied in her heart, she still did a good job on the surface. After all, she was trained to observe words and expressions since she was a child. Your Highness, I am also fascinated by your handsomeness. Lu Shishi said in a delicate voice. Wang Xuan felt a chill. The tea taste was too strong, more coquettish than many Taiwanese girls. Brother Xian, just enjoy yourself. I can't hold my liquor, so I'm leaving first. Ing Ziyue stood up and staggered away. Only Wang Xuan and Lu Shishi were left in the box. A fragrant breeze blew into her nose, and Lu Shishi sat down next to Wang Xuan. Your Highness, I'll pour you some wine. That she planned to continue pouring wine into Wang Xuan. Huhu's charm made it easier to interrogate her. This trick worked every time, and she had used it to get a lot of secrets out of him, but Wang Xuan didn't follow the routine and directly pulled her into his arms. Ah! Lu Shishi exclaimed, why is Wang Xuan so rude? Everyone is polite to her, afraid of offending the beauty. Feeling the hot palm on her waist, Lu Shishi was ashamed and angry. She wanted to slap the man who flirted with her to death, but thinking of the task given by the master, she still resisted the impulse and pretended to be afraid. Generations, Your Highness, you are too anxious. I am not used to it. Unexpectedly, the hand on the waist became even more unscrupulous. Not used to it? That's okay. You get used to it after touching it for a while. Chapter 35. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Shishi thought of how she looked just now, lowered her head shyly, and hummed. Just be comfortable. You can't catch a cold in your situation. Drink more hot water. Wang Xuan said seriously. Okay, Your Highness. Lu Shishi didn't dare to look at him. After all, this was the first time she had shown such an embarrassing scene in front of a man, but in the end, curiosity overcame shyness, and she looked up and asked. How did His Highness know these Qi Huang techniques? That just now, Lu Shishi thought that Wang Xuan was being beastly and wanted to flirt with her. She was ready to beat up this bastard. Unexpectedly, Wang Xuan just sent a warm current to her abdomen, which made her scream with comfort. When she came to her senses, the pain caused by her menstruation in the past few days was gone. Even the fatigue from today's hard work dissipated a lot. This surprised her, whose prince went back to learn Qi Huang techniques, and then helped her, a brothel girl, to cure her Tiangui disease. This is too bizarre. But this is what happened. This is all basic training, it only takes practice. That Wang Xuan had a no-big-deal expression on his face, which really had the demeanor of a hidden master. Lu Shishi was also frightened and then showed a face of shame. I was judging you by my own standards. I thought Your Highness wanted to flirt with me. That Wang Xuan's expression froze, but he recovered quickly. He did mean that. Reciprocity is the way to go. Who told you to tease me first? I was just defending myself, it's not too much. As for the treatment of Pain, it was just a sudden inspiration, because he saw the clenched fist of the little fairy. Fortunately, the inner force of the pure yang Wuji Gong is very young, which can just clear the cramps caused by the excessive contraction of the uterus caused by menstruation and the abdominal pain caused by ischemia. Of course, he is definitely not afraid of being beaten. After all, he is also a congenital second flower. The main reason is that he doesn't want to break the sitting in the arms without being disturbed character he set for himself. It's okay. This prince is used to it. Being misunderstood is the fate of the expressor. Wang Xuan sighed and looked into the distance, his eyes mysterious and deep. Lu Shishi heard this and felt an inexplicable emotion in her heart. She thought of her family and friends, their misunderstanding of her hard work and career, and even her parents broke off their relationship with her. In the end, she gradually got used to it. It's nothing more than being alone, just feeling lonely occasionally, and at this moment, she actually met someone who was equally lonely. Being misunderstood is the fate of those who express themselves. Lu Shishi murmured to herself, she didn't know why, but she felt that this sentence had a special magic. It seemed that all the grievances she had suffered disappeared at this moment. It turns out that everything is fate. Lu Shishi seemed to have figured something out and laughed. The charm of this smile was just right, and Wang Xuan was a little stunned. No. If I stay any longer, my power will fail. Wang Xuan planned to slip away. Miss Lu, it's getting late. I'm going back first. See you later. He turned and left. Looking at Wang Xuan's fleeing back, Lu Shishi covered her mouth and chuckled. Wang Xuan, the prince of Zhenbei Palace, I remember. We will see you again. On the way back, Wang Xuan's expression had regained its composure. Uncle Fu, tomorrow you will find some trustworthy people from the palace and arrange them to work in the King of Wu's Tianxia Bank. Ing Ziyue agreed to his request so readily that he knew what was going on, but he was not stupid, and he would definitely plant his own people there. Okay, young master. Uncle Fu nodded in agreement, then hesitated to speak. Wang Xuan said helplessly, Uncle Fu, just say whatever you want to say. Uncle Fu chuckled and said, Young master, if there is a girl you like, this old slave can help you redeem her. Don't worry about it. I am now concentrating on cultivation, so let's put aside the love affair. I am sorry, Uncle Fu, thank you for considering me. I don't want to do this either. Uncle Fu sighed. Okay, he hoped that the young master didn't stop liking women because of emotional injury. If so, when would the palace be able to expand, and how would he explain to the dead lady? The next morning, in the training room of Zhenbei Palace, after Wang Xuan came back yesterday, he did not immediately start training. He needed to restore his energy and spirit to the peak, because he wanted to try to condense the last flower, the flower of energy. With a thought, a transparent panel appeared in front of him. Name, Wang Xuan. Realm, innate 2 flowers. Luck value, 50,000. Plunder progress, Lin An, 15% Chu Siyan, 30%. Mall, click to open. Seeing the full 50,000 points of luck value, Wang Xuan's mouth almost couldn't hold back. The protagonist is really good, the gold coins are constantly bursting. I even feel a little reluctant to kill him, and there is also that recognition of the will of heaven and earth, lying in the space. This is the key to the gathering of the 3 flowers. Wang Xuan also went to the mall to look for it, and found that this recognition of the will of heaven and earth requires a full 2 million luck points. That is to say, the system is powerful and gave him a critical hit. Otherwise, even if I catch Lin An and grab him, I don't know how long it will take. No wonder there were so few 3 flowers before. It turns out that it is not something that human power can achieve. Without the recognition of the will of heaven and earth, it is impossible to succeed. How many geniuses throughout the ages have wasted a lot of time in the realm of innateness in order to condense the 3 flowers, but in the end they were empty-handed, and some missed the opportunity to enter the peak. As for why they are obsessed with the gathering of the 3 flowers, the reason lies in a guess. Some people have found that throughout the ages, all those who can achieve heavenly man have become perfect masters through the gathering of the 3 flowers. Also, that is to say, it is very likely that the gathering of the 3 flowers at the top of the head is the key condition for becoming a celestial being. Geniuses are naturally arrogant and everyone thinks that they are likely to become a celestial being. Naturally, everyone wants to gather the 3 flowers at the top of the head to become a perfect master, but unfortunately, without the recognition of the will of heaven and earth, they are doomed to be in vain. If people outside knew that I had the key to condense the 3 flowers, they would trample down the door of my Zhenbei Palace, but under normal circumstances, he would definitely not release the news. He is not stupid and will not ask for trouble. When you have more luck points in the later stage, you can exchange them for people you trust. So happy. Next, let's start condensing the last flower. Wang Xuan's mind moved, and a golden light appeared in his hand. He slapped it on himself, then he felt that his whole body had an inexplicable meaning. He felt more in tune with this world, and the vague sense of confinement loosened a little, as if he could travel between heaven and earth. In an instant, the chi flower that had originally had no reaction slowly condensed. It looked like a green lotus. At the same time, the air of the entire Zhenbei Palace began to rotate and flow with Wang Xuan as the center. The sky was cloudless just now, but suddenly a large layer of clouds gathered, and there was a faint sound of thunder. It's a nice sunny day, why is it going to rain? Many people in Luodu kept complaining, and moved the clothes that were still drying back into the house. Such a big commotion naturally could not be hidden from Uncle Fu, who was nearby. He instantly came to the center of the commotion, the door of Wang Xuan's training room, and muttered to himself. Oh, has it finally come to this? Miss, please don't blame me, this is the choice made by the young master himself. Chapter 36. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the training room, the spiritual energy in the air was so dense that it was white. This was only possible when the spiritual energy of heaven and earth was atomized. In this tide of spiritual energy, Wang Xuan closed his eyes tightly, feeling the chi flower that was slowly taking shape in his body. Unlike ordinary chi flowers, Wang Xuan's chi flower was a green lotus. He guessed that it should be related to the green lotus sword song he had obtained. Countless of his insights into the green lotus sword song and his sword intent poured into this green lotus. The surge of the spiritual energy tide stagnated, and then it was madly absorbed by this green lotus in an instant. Wang Xuan roared, and his sword intent rushed into the sky. There were lightning and thunder in the sky, and in an instant it rained heavily. Such a strange phenomenon naturally attracted the attention of warriors from all sides. They all looked up at the sky. Such a strange phenomenon, who has achieved the breakthrough to become a grandmaster? Even if he broke through to the grandmaster level, the noise wouldn't be this loud. It's just one level below breaking through to the top level. They started discussing it. Some curious people ran towards the strange phenomenon directly, wanting to see who it was. Hey, isn't that the Zhenbei Palace? It really is. I remember that there are masters in the Zhenbei Palace. Could it be that one of them has made a breakthrough to the highest level? This movement doesn't seem like it, but it can't be that the Prince of Zhenbei has achieved a breakthrough to become a grandmaster. The last time there was such a commotion was when General Shenwei broke through 20 years ago. Thinking of this, the group of people were stunned for a moment and said in unison. 3 flowers Xiantian, that the only one who could match such power was when Yang Heng became a 3 flowers Xiantian. The sound of the guests' discussion was naturally heard by Lu Shishir. After Wang Xuan left yesterday, she remembered her mission. Afterwards, Ying Ziyue came to ask her, but she evaded the question. After that, Ying Ziyue said something like he wouldn't care and would treat you well, but Lu Shishir didn't understand, but she didn't care, because in her heart, that figure has been lingering. The unlearned and unskilled dandy, the thoughtful prince, the miraculous doctor, and now the 3-flower innate master. Wang Xuan, who are you? As if she thought of something, Lu Shishir's cheeks turned red. No, he is a pervert who likes to play with other people's waists. Showan Pavilion in the Imperial Palace. Moron Wanqing looked at the strange scene in the distance with a gloomy face and murderous eyes. She has received reports that Wang Xuan is likely to become a 3-flower innate. It is a foregone conclusion that he will become a master or even a peak, and even the untouchable heavenly being has a slight possibility. This means that Wang Xuan and even the Zhenbei Palace will become her great enemy in the future. For Lin An, she has already forged a mortal feud with the Zhenbei Palace and Wang Xuan, and it is the kind that cannot be reconciled. Even if Wang Xuan wants to reconcile, she will not agree. She wants Wang Xuan to pay for all the humiliation she suffered yesterday, and her brother Lin An was beaten to the point of life and death. In this case, she must prepare early, and it is best to nip the danger in the bud. This is the philosophy she has always believed in. Your Majesty already has a lot of opinions about the excessive power held by the vassal kings, and he will definitely be able to do something about it. Murong Wanqing's eyes condensed, and a smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. Just wait, Wang Xuan. Sooner or later, I will make you kneel on the ground and beg me, unable to live or die. In the palace of the great general Shenwei, Yang Heng looked at the heavy rain and thunder in the distance and sighed. What is coming will come, and there is no way to avoid it. At this time, a crisp voice sounded. Daddy! Are you listening to me? Hearing the voice, Yang Heng, who was frowning just now, smiled instantly, and his tone became cheerful. Of course I listen to my baby girl. I'm angry. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Yang Xiaoxue put her hands on her hips and said with a pout. Swear, be good. Don't ignore Daddy. You can ask me to pay attention to you. You have to promise me one thing. Not to mention 1, 10, or 100 will do. You say it. Then go and see my brother, he is seriously injured. When Yang Linjing was mentioned, Yang Heng's face turned cold. Why do you mention this rebellious son? I won't go. Just let him die outside. Yang Xiaoxue was angry. Humph. If you don't go, I will ignore you. After weighing the pros and cons for a while, Yang Heng softened. Okay, I'll go. Yang Xiaoxue smiled again, hugged Yang Heng's arm and acted coquettishly. Daddy treats Shuer the best. If this scene was seen by outsiders, they would be stunned. The mighty general who chopped off 100,000 heads and built Jingguan without blinking an eye and was called the god of killing by foreigners was actually a daughter slave. However, this was destined not to be known by outsiders. The strange phenomenon of heaven and earth did not last long, and it dissipated after a while, and turned back to a clear sky. This weather is really weird. The people of Luodu who had just returned home from drying their clothes kept complaining. In the training room, the white mist had dissipated, revealing Wang Xian's figure. In his body, 3 flowers were flowing around each other in a tripod-like manner. And in it, the Yuanshan was slowly being born in a chaos. All that was left was to spend time, and after the Yuanshan was completely solidified, communicate with the great trend of heaven and earth, and then he could become a master. Great! Wang Xuan couldn't help but roared happily, and the energy he released directly collapsed the training room. But when the debris of the house approached him, it was crushed into powder by his protective energy, and not even a speck of dust could fall on his body. This scene was naturally seen by the warriors who were spying on him. Their faces changed. The power of the 3 flowers is so terrifying. This is stronger than the protective energy of an ordinary master. If he is given some time to become a master, that would be great. It seems that we should prepare early. In the past, they respected the Zhenbei Palace, and they respected the Zhenbei king Wang Xuan who was called the Butcher. They naturally looked down on Wang Xuan and mainly tried to coax him, but now, they know that the times have changed. Wang Xuan has achieved the 3 flowers innate, which means he is a top master. With such a cultivation, the Zhenbei Palace will not decline, and may even reach a higher level. No, I have to go back and report to the master of the house and make friends with him in advance. Me too. Goodbye everyone. Everyone scattered. Chu family. Chu Yuanzhan naturally noticed the strange phenomenon, but he didn't care, because he was talking about business with others. At this time, the housekeeper came running in a panic. Not good. Master. The Prince of Zhenbei has condensed 3 flowers. Boom. Chu Yuanzhan's brain exploded and his face turned pale instantly. If there were no outsiders, he would have fallen down immediately. After coming to his senses, Chu Yuanzhan grabbed the housekeeper and yelled. Impossible. How could it be Wang Xuan? Didn't he just condense the 2nd flower? The butler's arms were grabbed and hurt, but he had no choice but to say. A lot of people saw it, Chu Yuanzhan suddenly laughed, patting his thigh while laughing. Ha ha ha. 3 flowers Xiantian, ha ha ha. The people who came to discuss things also stood up and said goodbye. He was willing to come because of Qin Xiang's introduction, but if Wang Xuan became a 3-flower Xiantian, then the Zhenbei Palace would not be able to decline. He dared not offend a powerful Zhenbei Palace, at least he would not take sides before the situation was clear. Mr. Chu, my young family still needs to think about the cooperation, so let's stop here today. I'll take my leave first. Without waiting for Chu Yuanzhan's response, he turned around and left, and disappeared in an instant. Chu Yuanzhan had no reaction to the departure of his partner, and continued to smile, muttering to himself. It's over, it's all over. The housekeeper was anxious. He thought the master had gone crazy. The Chu family was finished, and so was he. Master, wake up. The Chu family cannot be finished. Hearing this, Chu Yuanzhan's eyes finally regained a trace of clarity. Yes. The Chu family cannot be finished. I have worked so hard for 15 years, how can it end like this? Quick. Call the young lady over. Chu Yuanzhan ordered anxiously. In his opinion, only Chu Siyan could save the Chu family now. Chapter 37. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a while, Chu Siyan was called over by the housekeeper. Dad, why are you calling Yenna here so urgently? Lin Lang is not well yet, and he still needs my care. Chu Siyan complained. Don't worry about the dying man. Daughter, do you know? The prince has broken through to the 3 flowers innate realm. Chu Siyan was originally dissatisfied with Chu Yuanzhan's criticism of Lin An, but after hearing this news, her expression changed immediately, with an unbelievable look on her face. How is it possible? In her eyes, Wang Xuan, a good-for-nothing, was lucky enough to break through the 2nd level of Xiantian in the martial arts test. How could he break through the 3rd level of Xiantian that even countless talents failed to achieve in less than a day? This is unreasonable. Is he still the 2nd-generation ancestor that she hated for not making progress and always sticking to her? Chu Yuanzhan had a bitter look on his face. Before, he was blinded by his own greed. He knew that the Empress wanted to reduce the power of the vassal states, and with Wang Xuan's ignorance, he thought that the ship of Zhenbei Palace would sink sooner or later, so he didn't mind letting the Chu family change its home. Unexpectedly, in just 1 month, the situation took a sharp turn for the worse. The northern palace was still in its heyday, and Wang Xuan's cultivation level had even risen steadily, becoming the legendary 3 flowers innate. However, his Chu family was on the decline, no longer as crowded with guests as before. Thinking of this, Chu Yuanzhan couldn't help but lose his temper with Chu Siyan. It's all your fault. If you had been patient, nothing would have happened. Chu Siyan looked aggrieved. You're still blaming me. Dad, don't you also look down on Wang Xuan? When he came to your house, you didn't even look at him. You. Chu Yuanzhan was furious when his sore spot was touched, and he raised his hand to hit her. Chu Siyan held her neck. Go ahead. Beat me to death. Chu Yuanzhan finally put his hand down. He held back. After all, if he wanted Wang Xuan to change his mind, he had to rely on Chu Siyan. Your father hopes that you will go to the Zhenbei Palace right now and apologize to the prince. There is still hope for the future of our Chu family. After hearing Chu Yuanzhan's request, although Chu Siyan was not very happy, she was not as determined as before. After thinking for a moment, Chu Siyan finally nodded slowly. Zhenbei Palace. Wang Xuan stood on the ruined training room, looking helpless. This training room was made of sky crystal stone. Even if Master Ehua came, he couldn't break it. I didn't expect that it would be shattered just by the energy he burst out. It's still very troublesome to rebuild a new one. It seems that my current strength is comparable to that of a 2-flower master. Grand masters are divided into 1-flower, 2-flower and perfect masters. As the name implies, a 1-flower master is a master who has condensed a flower. By analogy, a perfect master is a master who has perfect spirit. The difference in strength between a 1-flower and a 2-flower master is like the difference between an innate and a master. Of course, this does not include a 3-flower innate, because a 3-flower innate represents perfection, and 1 foot has already stepped into the Realm of the master, the difference between a two-flower master and a perfect master is even greater. It can be said that even if 100 two-flower innates come, they cannot do anything to a perfect master, because a perfect master has mastered the momentum, which is a kind of domain, within, power. Grandmaster Wuk is invincible. Unless one has mastered the ultimate, extreme, it is possible to fight against, power. The two can be said to be 50-50. And there are too few masters in the ultimate realm. There are only 3 in the whole Luodu, namely, an old eunuch in the palace, the abbot of the White Horse Temple, Monk Wukong, and the mighty general Yang Hein. The old eunuch often lives in the deep palace to guard the Empress, and Monk Wukong has retired for many years and his life or death is unknown, not to mention Yang Hein. For some reason, he will not make a move on Wang Xuan. In this way, Wang Xuan can walk sideways in Luodu. Congratulations, young master, on your great accomplishments. Wang Xuan only saw Uncle Fu in front of him at this time. He smiled and said, "There is still a long way to go. This is not because he is modest, but even if he has broken through the realm and the pure Yang Wuji Gong has improved a lot, it is still a small success." However, he noticed that Uncle Fu's smile seemed quite forced. "Uncle Fu, aren't you happy that I made a breakthrough?" "Happy? How could I not be happy? It's just that when I saw the young master's appearance, I couldn't help but think of the young lady." Wang Xuan nodded and didn't ask any more questions. Uncle Fu had raised his mother since she was a child, and they had long been like father and daughter. When his mother passed away more than a decade ago, who was the saddest person? It was definitely not Wang Xiang, nor his 5 brothers or him, but Uncle Fu. "Come on, Uncle Fu, be happy. Your mother in heaven also hopes that you can live happily." Uncle Fu wiped his tears with his sleeves. "Master, it's getting late. It's time to have lunch. Let the servants clean up here." Wang Xuan nodded. At this moment, a servant came in and said, "Your Highness, Miss Chu, the chief censor, is outside the door asking for an audience." Wang Xuan seemed to be thinking, "Oh." The experienced treasure was delivered to the door. Uncle Fu saw that Wang Xuan did not refuse immediately, thinking that he was going to get angry again, so he ordered, "Our Zhenbei Palace no longer has any relationship with the Chu family. From now on, when you see someone from the Chu family, you don't need to report back, just drive them away." "Wait a minute." Wang Xuan stopped him. Uncle Fu dissuaded him. "This Miss Chu is indecisive all day long. She is not worthy of you, young master. This old servant thinks that Miss Yang, and even Miss Lu from Tianxiang Tower, are better than Miss Chu. Young master, don't be fooled again." Wang Xuan also knew Uncle Fu's worries, fearing that he would return to his old ways. "Don't worry, Uncle Fu, I know what I'm doing, trust me. I was bored, so I went out and played with her." The experienced baby came to his door. Of course he would not let it go, although his luck value is already 50,000. This kind of thing is never too much. Lin An's big one has been exploded too much. Let him slow down first, and then explode this small one to see if there is any surprise. Uncle Fu looked at Wang Xuan's confident eyes and finally chose to believe him, but he planned to go with him. The two came to the gate of the palace. Wang Xuan didn't plan to let Chu Siyan, a woman, step into his Zhenbei Palace again, because he was afraid of dirtying the floor of the palace. Seeing that Wang Xuan actually came out to see her in person, Chu Siyan felt disdainful. Sure enough, just as his father said, Wang Xuan still cared about her as before. It seems that all the bad words he said to her in the past month, as well as the suppression of the Chu family and Lin An, were out of jealousy. It was to force herself back to him. Okay. She admitted that Wang Xuan did it. The Chu family and Lin An were forced into a desperate situation by him. For them, she, Chu Siyan, had to compromise with Wang Xuan. Wang Xuan glanced at Chu Siyan and snorted coldly. "This prince should have made it clear to you that there is no relationship between us anymore. Why are you still looking for me?" Chu Siyan sneered in her heart. "Why are you pretending? Don't I know what you are thinking? You just want to attract my attention." Seeing this, Chu Siyan also said coldly, "Okay, Yener admits that you win. This prince doesn't need others to acknowledge his victory." Wang Xuan thought she was talking about the competition with Lin An on the training ground that day. Chu Siyan smiled. she was so stubborn that she didn't need others to acknowledge her victory, she obviously wanted me to say it myself. Stop making trouble, Yenner agrees to marry you. But let me make it clear first, you must return the betrothal gift intact, and you must also give double the compensation. Lin Lang is seriously injured. You need to take out the Tianshan Snow Lotus to save him. Otherwise, Yenner will never marry you in this life. Chapter 38. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wang Xuan was confused. With his high emotional intelligence from 2 lives, he still couldn't understand Chu Siyan's train of thought. When the screenwriter of this game wrote the character of Chu Siyan, he might have had a sudden cerebral hemorrhage, otherwise he couldn't have written such a character. He turned to ask Uncle Fu, "Uncle Fu, do you know what she is talking about?" Uncle Fu shook his head to indicate that he didn't understand, but you young people are really having fun. This. Who among the family members would understand? But it is indeed a pity that Lin An, the big golden toad, is going to die. He even suspected that he had used too much force and fleeced him, but he wanted Wang Xuan to take out the Tianshan Snow Lotus to save him. He is not a brainless villain, it is absolutely impossible. And looking at the panel, the progress of Lin An's plundering of luck is only 15%, it is still a long way from death. With luck, he will not die so early, there will definitely be a deus ex machina to save his life, maybe he will even reach a higher level. The way of heaven likes to do this the most. Seeing that Wang Xuan did not answer, Chu Siyan thought he was not very satisfied. He thought that he came to surrender, and his attitude just now seemed a little too tough. As a man, you always have to give some way out. If they are together in the future, won't they be controlled by me? Yenner, please take a step back. As long as the betrothal gift is returned in full, there is no need for compensation. Our Chu family will accept the loss. But at least 1 petal of the Tianshan Snow Lotus must be given to save Lin Lang. Chu Siyan said this with her neck straightened. She felt that she had already made a lot of concessions. Wang Xuan should be satisfied now. Wang Xuan sneered, "Marry me." Chu Siyan, do you treat this prince as a chamber pot? You dump all the shit and piss on me. Chu Siyan's proud expression froze. What do you mean? You say I am shit and piss. Oh. I didn't expect you to understand it. This surprised Wang Xuan. You. It seems that I hit you too lightly last time. I have to teach you a profound lesson this time. Get out of here. Wang Xuan didn't want to talk nonsense with her anymore, and slapped her away with a slap. He used a little of the qi flower. It happened that because of the strange phenomenon of heaven and earth caused by Wang Xuan's breakthrough, the rain on the ground had not dried up, it just fell into the puddle. All the clothes on her back were soaked with dirty water, and she almost drank a mouthful of dirty water. Her face, which had already subsided, swelled up again. It hurt so much. Chu Siyan felt a will of destruction raging in her face. The damage was not serious, but it made her feel so painful that she wanted to die. She struggled to get up from the sewage, looking miserable, with tears in her beautiful eyes. Just when she wanted to ask Wang Xuan why he treated her like this, she heard a bang. The door of Zhenbei Palace closed, leaving her alone outside the door in shock. He actually dared to hit me. Doesn't he want me? Isn't he afraid that I will never talk to him again? Chu Siyan looked incredulous, feeling a little broken inside. She had already made such a big concession, why couldn't he forgive her? Can't a man be more generous? He even said that he would love her for the rest of his life. What a scumbag. Outside the Zhenbei Palace, some of the onlookers in Luodu began to talk about it. Isn't this the daughter of the Chu family, the chief censor? Why is she here? Didn't she break off the engagement with the Zhenbei Palace? I heard it from afar just now. It seemed that he came to seek peace, but was beaten out by the prince. The prince also said that he was not a chamber pot, and that no one should pour shit or urine on him. Ha 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 ha, this is making me die of laughter. The prince is so vulgar. I thought he would be a high and mighty person. I think such a prince is more adorable, unlike those old masters, whose noses are raised higher than the sky and they never look people in the eye. This young lady of the Chu family is so funny. She has an affair with another man, but she still wants to come back to find the prince. She is so shameless. It was only in the past few years that His Majesty issued the equality order. If it had been in the previous emperor's time, he would have been beaten with a stick. Chu Siyan heard all these discussions without missing a word. Her already angry mood exploded instantly, and she yelled at the people around her. If you keep talking nonsense, I'll have your mouths torn apart. Dakian is a martial nation with a tough folk character. The people of Luodu don't tolerate her at all and immediately sprayed her with foul language. Chu Siyan was tongue-tied and couldn't win over them, so she jumped in anxiety. One of the carriage drivers drove the carriage at high speed, splashing the dirty water in the puddle, soaking the other half of her clean clothes. She even made up for the dirty water that she didn't drink the first time she fell this time. Pa pa pa. Who is it? Don't go. I'm going to tear you apart. Chu Siyan was furious and wanted to find the coachman, but when she looked up, she found that the man had already fled. Everyone pointed at her and laughed. She ran away crying after being wronged. Ding. Successfully slapped the lucky child Chu Siyan in the face. Her heart was broken, her reputation dropped, and she got 2,000 points of luck. Reward: Chu Siyan's love *1. 2,000 points of luck is not much, but Wang Xuan doesn't mind it. After all, a mosquito is still meat. But what the hell is this? Chu Siyan's love. Wang Xuan looked at this ball of pink gas and found that after using it, it can greatly increase Chu Siyan's favorability towards a person. But I'm a villain, what kind of bullshit favorability do I need? This is wrong. Brother Wuji. Come out and explain, is this a villain system or a love strategy system? Wang Xuan shouted in his heart that this system is an invincible villain system, not a love strategy system. The system assistant Wuji rarely responded. Wang Xuan was stunned for a moment, then replied. What the hell is this reward? Can't you give it something more practical? No response. I don't need it, I can always recycle it. I don't want a lot either, just give me 10,000 luck points, you won't lose. Still no response. Well, Wang Xuan could only accept this painful reward. It is absolutely impossible to use it for himself. When I use it on others, it might have some miraculous effect. Thinking of this, he ignored it. After dinner, he went straight back to his bedroom. The training room needed to be built, so he could only stay in the bedroom for a while. He opened the panel and looked at it. My luck value is now 50,000 points. Should I save it until it reaches 100,000 points for a high-level lottery? Forget it. Lin An was beaten badly this time. He will not be able to jump for a long time. I don't know how long it will take to get the remaining luck value. It would be better to convert these luck points into your own strength. He spent 10,000 luck points to buy a yunshan grass from the mall to speed up the condensation of his yuanshan. He didn't plan to draw lotteries or anything like that. After all, his current martial arts were enough, and quality was more important than quantity. He planned to invest the remaining luck points into the practice of Qingyang Wuji Gong. After all, he also wanted to enjoy a happy life as soon as possible, and there was the Qinglian sword song. His sword intent began to transform continuously the moment it merged into the flower of qi. He had a lot of insights every moment, and he believed that his sword intent would be perfect soon. The perfection of sword intent meant that 1 foot had stepped into the ultimate realm. In the past history, there had never been an innate person who could comprehend the perfection of sword intent. Wang Xuan suspected that this should be related to the Qinglian sword song. The song is related to this, because he had read a lot of secret books and information before, and even a top master in the Zhenbei army had taught him. He had never heard that the sword intent could be integrated into the flower of energy, and when he looked inward, he could also feel a sharp and mysterious meaning from the flower of energy. When he slapped Chu Siyan in the face just now, he used a trace of its power. This trace of power is extremely difficult to deal with, even if a master comes, he will suffer a loss. And he can fully exert it. Wang Xuan believes that even a top master will be hurt by him. It is very likely that in the last life, Lin An killed the top master with the body of a master, relying on the mysterious meaning brought by this Qinglian sword song, but Wang Xuan has no idea of fully controlling it. In the plot, Lin An only had this ability after visiting Li Bai's tomb, so the key to the use of the mysterious meaning lies in the tomb. And Wang Xuan thought of one thing. More than a month later, it was the Empress's birthday. At that time, all nations would come to pay tribute to the Empress. Then something happened, which directly led to the subsequent war between Rongdi and Daqian, and it was in this incident that Wang Xuan was framed by Lin An, and then the Zhenbei Palace was framed and suspected of colluding with foreign countries. Because of my intervention, I wonder if Lin An can still become the top scorer in both civil and military examinations. And will the development of the plot be the same as before? He believed that Lin An would not end up like this, but even if Lin An survived and things continued to develop as before, he would not panic. It was nothing more than him exploding the gold coins. What conspiracy? I will blow it up with one punch. Chapter 39. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chu family. In the hall, Chu Yuanzhan kept drinking tea, and stood up from time to time to look outside the door. Although he was very confident that his daughter would be successful in asking Wang Xuan, he was still very uneasy before the result. After all, the Chu family was now surrounded by enemies, and if it didn't work, it would really be ruined. At this moment, Chu Siyan came in crying with her face covered, and said aggrievedly, "Daddy." Chu Yuanzhan felt bad, but still held a glimmer of hope. "Will the prince agree to marry you again?" Chu Siyan shook her head. Not only did that bastard disagree, he also slapped his daughter. "Daddy, my daughter's face hurts so much." After saying that, she still showed her hand covering her face. Chu Yuanzhan was heartbroken and slumped down on the chair, not caring about his daughter's injury at all. It's over, my Chu family is over." Chu Siyan felt very aggrieved. Her father didn't care at all that she was beaten. "Daddy, my daughter was beaten." "Got it. I'll ask the doctor to check it out for you later." Chu Yuanzhan said weakly. Chu Siyan was a little annoyed. "Dad, won't you seek justice for your daughter? This bastard committed crimes against the children of court ministers in public. You will report him to the court tomorrow." Hearing this, Chu Yuanzhan's eyes lit up. Yes. Last time, it could be said that Chu Siyan was punished because of her rebellion. This time, Wang Xuan's action was unreasonable. He will complain to the emperor tomorrow. Maybe with the intervention of the emperor, the Chu family will have a chance to survive, but we have to understand the situation first. So Chu Yuanzhan asked, "Daughter, tell me in detail what happened after you found the prince. I will go to the palace tomorrow to seek justice for you." Chu Siyan's face, which had been aggrieved just now, finally got a little better. Wang Xuan. Look at how my father is trying to put pressure on you. The world is big and the emperor is the biggest. Can you still rebel?" So she told Chu Yuanzhan the whole process in detail. At first, Chu Yuanzhan was still very excited, but the more he talked, the darker his face became. "You mean, you want the prince to return all the betrothal gifts and double the compensation? And you want him to hand over the Tianshan snow lotus to heal Lin An?" "Yes. My daughter did a good job, and she is on our side of the Chu family." Chu Siyan didn't think there was a problem. Chu Yuanzhan's face turned red, and he was about to go crazy. He knew that his daughter had some problems with her brain circuit, but he didn't expect it to be so problematic. "It would be fine if you wanted to get the betrothal gift back, but you actually asked Wang Xuan to hand over the Tianshan snow lotus to save Lin An. Don't you know what this means?" Chu Siyan said disdainfully. "In the past, he would agree to my more difficult requests. My daughter has only made this little request. If he doesn't even agree to this, then he doesn't like me. And Lin Lang is a daughter, anyway. If he doesn't agree to save Lin Lang, my daughter won't marry him." Looking at Chu Siyan's stubborn face, Chu Yuanzhan couldn't hold back anymore. What sin did he commit in his life to give birth to such a thing? He went to ask for help, but she was rude and asked for this and that. If he was too ashamed to tell this matter, because it was not reasonable, the Empress would not seek justice for him. "You really? Alas, how could I give birth to such a thing as you?" Chu Yuanzhan sighed. It seems that it is time and fate. The Chu family is destined to decline. At this time, the housekeeper came in and reported, "Master, Master Lin has woken up." Chu Siyan was stunned at first, then showed ecstasy. "Lin Lang has woken up. Quick! I want to go and see." Chu Yuanzhan still had no expression on his face, and sighed. What's the use of waking up, he is already a useless person. Daddy. You are not allowed to say that about Lin Lang. Chu Siyan was a little anxious. Who said that I am useless? A light snort sounded. Chu Yuanzhan heard it like thunder in his ears, which frightened him. Who? That as soon as the voice fell, a familiar figure appeared in front of the two. Chu Yuanzhan opened his eyes wide. Mr. Lin, he is actually healed. That the person who came was Lin An. At this time, he stood upright, looking very healthy, and he didn't look seriously injured at all. It seemed that he was not only healed, but also sounded as if he had never been injured, with full energy. Moreover, Chu Yuanzhan had a vague feeling that after this battle, Lin An might have been broken and then rebuilt, and his cultivation had reached a higher level. He was originally a second-level innate. Could it be that he was Lin Lang? Chu Siyan called out, her beautiful eyes flushed red. Lin An looked into her eyes, and instantly felt a warm current flowing through his heart. He whispered, Yener, I'm here. That the word Yener instantly made her burst into tears, and she threw herself into Lin An's arms without hesitation. She threw away her father's gaze and the rules between men and women. At this moment, she just wanted to hug him tightly and smell the familiar scent on him. She wanted him to melt into her body. Lin Lang, Yener is really scared. Don't be afraid, I'm fine, right? Lin An patted her back gently and comforted her. The two hugged each other for a long time, and finally a light cough sounded. Chu Siyan came back to her senses, and her father was still beside her. She blushed instantly and quickly escaped from Lin An's arms. After the beauty left, Lin An was still savoring the warmth. My dear nephew, I didn't expect you to recover so quickly. Chu Yuanzhan couldn't help but admire. I have to thank Sister Wanqing for saving my life and allowing me to break through a technique by chance. Now I have reached the Three Flowers realm. Another 3 flowers. Chu Yuanzhan couldn't believe it. Lin An didn't waste any words and immediately showed the 3 flowers on his head and shoulders, but if you look closely at the 3 flowers, there are traces of black lingering, which is different from Wang Xuan's 3 flowers, but Chu Yuanzhan didn't notice. It is indeed the realm of 3 flowers. Chu Yuanzhan laughed up to the sky. He didn't expect that their Chu family would also have a 3-flower innate. God always has a way out. Now the Chu family is saved. Maybe they can go to the next level and become a top-notch family. But soon, Chu Yuanzhan realized that what he said just now was a bit too much, and quickly apologized. My dear nephew, I have to apologize to you for calling you a useless person. It is because I did not know people well, but I also wanted to consider Yener more. I hope you will forgive me. After saying that, he bowed deeply to Chu Yuanzhan. Lin An quickly helped Chu Yuanzhan up. Uncle Chu, there is no need to do this. The Chu family has helped me a lot before, and I am not the kind of person who would not repay a favor. Besides, Uncle is Yener's father. He only said this out of concern for his daughter. It is human nature. How can I blame him? In fact, Lin An was very dissatisfied with Chu Yuanzhan in his heart just now. After all, when he was in trouble, he was called a useless person. No matter what, he would feel resentful, but in the end, he decided to forgive Chu Yuanzhan. First of all, he liked Chu Siyan very much. Secondly, the Chu family was of great use to him, and he needed the support of the Chu family. The two sides reconciled and everyone was happy. From now on, the Chu family and Yener will be in your hands. Uncle, don't worry. As long as I am here, the Chu family will not fall. Chu Yuanzhan laughed and stroked his beard. If Wang Xuan saw this scene, he would definitely be disgusted. Thinking back to the time when the Zhenbei Palace took care of the Chu family because of his relationship, it brought him many connections and resources, and even supported Chu Yuanzhan step by step to the position of the chief censor in the court. But after all his efforts, there was no thank you. Instead, he took it for granted. In return, they only intensified their domineering attitude, and Lin An did nothing, just said a few words, and they were so moved. What a brain! Chu Siyan, who was standing by, was also very touched. She knew that Lin An must have forgiven her father so quickly for her. The love she had for Lin An in her heart increased and was about to overflow. Did you see that, Wang Xuan? Even though Lin An was seriously injured and dying by you, he still survived and also became a 3-flower innate. He is no worse than you. No, he is better than you and understands me better. Chu Siyan's beautiful eyes were filled with Lin An's figure. At this time, Lin An noticed Chu Siyan's red and swollen face. "Yener, what's wrong with your face?" he asked worriedly. "Lin Lang, you have to avenge Yener. Wang Xuan slapped me again. And it hurts so much." Chu Siyan looked aggrieved. "It's Wang Xuan again." Lin An hated this second-generation ancestor. If it weren't for him, how could he have been seriously injured? If he hadn't been seriously injured, he wouldn't have gone to that place to recover his cultivation. In short, in Lin An's eyes, Wang Xuan was his enemy, the kind that would never stop fighting. Now he actually dared to hit her woman. He deserved to die. "Yener, don't worry. Give me some time. I will definitely make Wang Xuan lose his reputation and leave him without a burial place." Chu Siyan nodded. She believed that Lin An would make the decision for him. "But the power on your face is not simple, let me show you." Lin An carefully examined it and his face was solemn. "This Wang Xuan is so vicious. He used a trace of 3-flower qi when he hit you, and it was particularly condensed. If it is not removed in time, Yener, your face will be completely ruined." Chu Siyan was horrified. "What can I do, Lin Lang? You have to save Yener. Yener doesn't want to be disfigured." Lin An smiled confidently. "Don't worry, it's just a trick. If it were a few days ago, this energy might be extremely difficult to deal with, and it would only be possible to remove it with the help of a master. But now I am also a 3-flower innate, my strength is far beyond what it was before, and it will only take a flick of my hand to solve the problem." Chapter 40. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "Yener, don't move. Let me slowly remove this trace of qi from you." Chu Siyan nodded and closed her eyes to let Lin An do what he wanted. Lin An held his breath and concentrated, stretched out his hand and pressed it on her face, sending out several strands of qi, intending to strangle this trace of sword intent, but when his qi got close, the trace of qi suddenly twisted wildly. A powerful sword intent was actually shot out from it. Lin An was stunned. He didn't expect that the qi actually contained sword intent. But it was too late to stop. "Ah!" Chu Siyan screamed and fainted from the pain. The sword intent penetrated Lin An's true energy and hit him directly. Lin Tian was caught off guard and was hit by the sword intent. He spit out blood. He was seriously injured again. For the first time, Lin An felt a trace of fear in his heart. How could Wang Xuan be so strong? He sacrificed so much to become a 3-flower innate, but he couldn't even deal with the trace of sword intent he had hidden. How is this possible? I don't accept it. I, Lin An, am destined to be the one chosen by fate. Ah, Wang Xuan, I will kill you. Ding! Severely injuring the lucky children Lin An and Chu Siyan, Lin An was terrified and gained 8,000 points of luck. Hey! A familiar mechanical sound caught Wang Xuan's attention. It seems that the energy I left on Chu Siyan's face was detonated by Lin An. In this way, he could receive the news that 2 people were seriously injured. He guessed that Lin An must have recovered his strength before he took action. He didn't expect that it was just a casual means, and the purpose was just to discuss Chu Siyan. He actually tricked 2 people at once. What a good deal. As expected of a lucky boy, he recovered in just 1 day. But no matter how powerful you are, you can't escape from my palm. Just be a golden pig and get gold coins. Wang Xuan sneered in his heart. He didn't take this matter too seriously, but focused on cultivation. Lin An and Chu Siyan are just one of the many sons of luck in this world. In addition to them, there are many other countries and many other worlds with sons of luck waiting for him to deal with, so he has to take a long-term view and focus on his own cultivation. In the end, he will be able to defeat 10 skills with 1 force. And kill gods and Buddhas. He has already instructed Uncle Fu that. In addition to eating and drinking, don't disturb him. He wants to retreat. In addition to concentrating on condensing the soul to break through the master, he is practicing the pure Yang Wuji Gong. He estimates that if he invests the remaining luck value in the practice of the pure Yang Wuji Gong, he should be able to practice it to perfection. A heavenly internal skill that has been practiced to the great perfection realm will be one of his killer moves. Who can threaten him then? 1 month later, during this period of time, there were only 2 major events in Luodu. One was the palace examination held yesterday. Not to mention the literary examination, in the most eye-catching martial arts examination. Yang Linjing, the son of General Shenwei, was selected by the Empress as the top martial arts scholar. The previous champion Lin An only got the 3rd place, which was a big surprise. There was a rumor that Lin An performed the best in this palace examination, but for some reason, the emperor only gave him the 3rd place in the end. The second was the Tianchong festival on March 17th, which was the empress's birthday. At that time, a large group of foreign envoys would come to Daqian to congratulate. Although it is still a while away, there are already many new faces with foreign looks on the streets of the entire Luodu, which is more lively than before. However, the noise from the outside world has nothing to do with Wang Xuan, Zhenbei Palace. Wang Xuan is in the practice room. The recast practice room was built by Zhenbei Palace using the deep rock volcanic essence stone tribute by the East Japan. This kind of essence stone contains thousands of years of fire essence, which can increase the practice speed of Jiang Gongfa by 10 times. Moreover, it is very strong. Even the top masters cannot break it in a short time, and this kind of fine stone, the whole Daqian is only about 100,000 jin. Half of it is in the treasure house of Daqian, and the remaining half is built into this training room by the Zhenbei Palace. At this time, Wang Xuan closed his eyes and frowned, with a hum. A huge energy spread out from his body to the surroundings, smashing all tangible objects, and even the walls of the training room were slightly shaken. Then a sharp and powerful sword intent swept around. Wherever the sword intent passed, the swords and knives rang. Everyone in the Zhenbei Palace felt horrified. Fortunately, this feeling was only a moment, and it receded like a tide. The sword intent was retracted into the body. Wang Xuan opened his eyes, and the green in his eyes flashed. Then he took a long breath and muttered to himself. The sword intent is perfect. The pure Yang Wuji Gong is accomplished. The concentration of the soul has exceeded 70%. But the luck value has been used up. It seems it's time to leave. I have to find 2 experience treasures to recharge. He stood up and shook off the dust on his body, instantly regaining his spotless figure. With a push of his palm, the 1,000-pound stone door was pushed open as if nothing happened, and the light outside the door shone in. Wang Xuan squinted his eyes to adapt to the light, and then saw Uncle Fu, who was already waiting outside the door. Congratulations, young master, on your great progress in martial arts. Uncle Fu smiled. Wang Xuan nodded with a smile. Uncle Fu, has anyone come to see me during my retreat? Young Master Yang and Miss Yang from the Shenwei General's mansion have come here several times and want to thank the young master. Tianxianglu also sent an invitation, inviting the young master to come over for a chat. Yang Linjing and Yang Xiaoxue came to him, probably to thank him for giving them the petals of the Tianshan snow lotus. As for Tianxianglu, could it be that the placement caused a stir? How is the process of placing our own people in Tianxia Bank going? At first, the king of Wu was not very willing, but my Zhenbei Palace was not a pushover either, so he finally compromised. However, there were not many people, only more than 50 people, and they controlled only 11 banks, all of which were in the 4 northern states. Wang Xuan nodded, which was already very good. The king of Wu had been running the world's banks for many years, and if Wang Xuan hadn't found a sore spot, he would not have been able to get involved. Moreover, the king of Wu also gave up the northern part of the banks controlled by the Zhenbei Palace, which seemed to be a good way to deal with it. What did the king of Wu invite me to discuss at Tianxiang Tower? Wang Xuan was puzzled. Since everyone knew it well, what else was there to talk about? It couldn't be to reminisce about the past and keep in touch with each other, right? Wang Xuan had taken such a big piece of meat from the king of Wu, so the king certainly didn't have any feelings for him and wanted to keep in touch with him. Upon hearing this, Uncle Fu smiled and said, "It's not the king of Wu." If it's not the king of Wu, then who is it? Wang Xuan instantly thought of someone, Lu Shishir. Uncle Fu didn't say anything, but seeing his look of watching a play and eating sugar, he knew he guessed right. Wang Xuan said helplessly, "Uncle Fu, please be serious and don't look so vulgar." How could it be? Am I being vulgar? Uncle Fu decided to control his expression. Wang Xuan didn't care, but thought about it. Why did Lu Shishir ask him out alone? Was she really captivated by his handsomeness and charm? Wang Xuan admitted that he was indeed very attractive now. If Lu Shishir was an ordinary woman, he would believe it, but she was Shui Lu, one of the 4 heavenly killers of pine, cypress, plum and willow in Qiufeng Tower, falling in love with a man she had only met once. No one would believe it, however. Wang Xuan still planned to go to the appointment to see what she was up to, but before going, Wang Xuan decided to visit the General Shenwei's mansion first. Uncle Fu, go get ready and visit the General Shenwei's mansion later.